All right, guys. So today's guests didn't just enter the hydration game. They came to it, shook it up, Canadian style. From the garage lab to the gym bag, Northern Hydration has become a name people trust to keep them fueled, focused, and friggin' hydrated. But behind the brand is a raw, real story of hustle, heart, and a whole lot of trial and error. And we're diving into all of it. So whether you're an athlete, entrepreneur, wellness junkie, or just someone trying to drink more than one bottle of water a day, this episode is for you. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Northern Hydration.
Stronger, harder, faster, healthier, better.
Northern Hydration.
A good intro.
I sweat over. I'm like, okay, let's make it good. Okay, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are actually a brewery company.
Yeah. Yep.
Right? So you were kind enough to bring the team some beers. So explain these beers first.
So this is our first all Canadian ingredient beer. Mm-hmm. So it's we call it all Canadian lager. Mm-hmm. So with everything obviously that's going on, it's very important for us to support, Canadian farmers and stuff like that. So we just released this this week. Yeah.
That's not bad. Yeah. So a little bit, I guess, of a dumb question on my end, but like, what makes it Canadian? Like, exactly, like you say you're working with farms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So dive into that a little bit more.
Okay, cool. So most of our grains in general for the brewery come from Canada right away. But a lot of the hops come from some parts in the States, mostly Europe. So on this batch of beer, the malts, so the grains, comes from Canada, comes from the prairies. And then the hops that we used is called Sasquatch.
Yeah.
And where is it from? It's from Ontario, I believe.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I believe it's from Ontario. And then in beer also there's yeast, water, which obviously comes from, we're actually on a natural like aquifer, Caledon, like natural spring water, which is also like in Northern Hydration. And yeah, so all Canadian ingredients to it.
I love that.
Which is not common at all. It's not common. Actually, our hop supplier yesterday stopped by. Yeah. He's like, can I buy a case to give it to all the other breweries so I can show them that you can use this hop like Sasquatch to make a smooth beer? Because most of the time Sasquatch is used, I guess, in IPAs. So something that has a lot of bitterness, where this beer, like we cracked it open just before we started, but it's smooth.
Yeah, no, it's really smooth. Yeah. So you guys are not only like trying to trailblaze when it comes to like your hydration, but your beers too.
Yeah, definitely.
How many
every front?
How many kinds of beers do you guys have?
Usually it's like between 10 to 15 on tap or in cans at a time. Yeah. So we have like 3 main ones that are always in the LCBO. And then at the brew pub in Palgrave, we always have like 10 to 15 different beers.
No,
they range from mostly lagers, which are like more like this, where they're smooth, to like really strong IPAs that have been going crazy lately, which has been kind of cool.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so how did like Northern Hydration start? Because you guys had the brewing before.
Yeah.
Right?
Sebastian started the brewery with our parents almost 10 years now.
Almost 10 years.
When he graduated university. And then I joined 5 years ago when I graduated university.
Okay. What'd you go to university for?
I went for molecular genetics.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was a business major.
Okay, so this is perfect.
Yeah, it actually did work. Yeah, I wanted to do pre-med, but it's too hard.
That's all right. So where did the birth of like Northern Hydration start?
Yeah, so it started probably like way back without us even realizing that we wanted to get into it. But we both grew up playing competitive squash.
Okay.
So we were both on Team Canada as juniors, and then we both got scholarships to the States. We played Division I squash. We both, our teams, separate years, made it to the finals of the NCAA, but we ended up both losing in the finals. So we both have second place trophies.
That's all right.
Which kind of sucks, but we played squash at a high level, and in our entire life was about fitness, hydration, eating properly.
Yeah.
And so last year, we kind of had been out of the fitness community dealing with the brewery. Last year, around January, Alex and I started hitting the gym a little bit more. He got married in June.
Yes, we were training.
So we're like, we got to train a little bit,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
look his best at the wedding.
Yeah. And then you got to train because you don't want him to be the best. You know what I mean?
Oh, it's so much better doing it with the first.
100%.
Like we do everything together.
Yeah.
So we might as well do the gym together.
100%.
Yeah. Like we trained squash literally like his grade 12 year actually, like I was his coach. Because I had just graduated university, so his grade 12, I was his coach. So like we trained literally all the time together for everything.
Oh, that's not bad. Okay, and so you started thinking about hydration a little bit more.
Yeah, so we were like kind of looking at like pre-workout, post-workout, you know, nutrition. And a company that we heard a lot about was Element. I don't know. Have you heard of Element?
Yeah. You know what? I take, I used to take other electrolytes. I only take Northern Hydration now. But Element, I tried and I liked. It's just very pricey.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
And, but I,
$2 a sachet, something like
is
that.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't bought it forever. So, but I really liked, and I still do, like Liquid IV.
Yeah.
Liquid IV, I actually don't mind at all.
They're Canadian, I believe, too.
Are they?
I think they are, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. When we were doing our research, they were.
Yeah, we were using those quite a bit. And then we were like, you know, you always forget a water bottle or something like that. And then they were really sweet, which we weren't the biggest fans of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we were like, why don't we just make our own that's like ready that we can bring to the gym?
Mm-hmm.
So we messed around at the brewery for like, I would say a good 6 months.
Damn, 6 months. You really figured out.
Because we were trying to figure out like
hard.
It was hard.
It was hard.
Trying to figure out like the right salt, like you know how much of it. And then we were using monk fruit to try to sweeten it to make it taste
for the longest time, because everyone else in the space is using some sort of sweetener, whether it's like natural or, you know, something fake. Everyone's using a sweetener.
Mm-hmm.
And so we thought we had to have a sweetener. And so for the longest time we were just doing it, and then it started becoming less and less and less. And then finally, I don't think it was your idea. We're like, why not just not add it?
Because the Northern Hydration drinks are actually sweetened by the fruit, right?
Yeah, it's like it's not sweet. It's just like perceived sweetness.
Yeah,
like your brain kind of tricks you into being like especially the lime.
Yeah,
it kind of does taste a little bit sweet, but there's no sweetener or nothing in it.
Yeah. That's what like it was legitly zero. Because sometimes people say it's zero.
They say like zero sugar.
Yeah,
they're like
but then there's like
other. But then there's sweeteners like there's stevia and stuff like that.
100%.
Ours doesn't have any of that. Yeah, so we went through all these trials. It's actually kind of cool. We were doing it in kegs, so we were making it all in kegs, carbonating it, and then one of our kegs has like a little faucet on it that we got built.
Yeah.
And we were like just pouring it out and trying it on our own.
That's crazy. So
it was fun.
So when you guys started like making it, do you already know what flavor you wanted?
We did, because we were using the company that we used for the flavoring at our brew pub. We were just kind of like offering it out to people with their waters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's called True Lemon, True Citrus. So we kind of knew what they had. So we were going to use that company because there's nothing bad in it for you, which is nice. It's like the real fruit, which is, it's a really interesting, cool product.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we were canning it and giving it to friends. That's kind of where we started. We're part of a squash club in Mississauga called Dixie.
Yeah.
We were giving it away to all the squash guys, you know, and everyone was like, man, this is so good. Like, I've never had like a hydration drink like this. You guys should think about selling it. And we're like, oh yeah, that's probably a good idea. We were just doing it for fun.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
You were reading a book by Alex Hormozy, right?
Yeah.
Was it him?
Or it was another one as well.
You got us like a good beer like Alex Hormozy.
Yeah.
What was the book? Yeah, I do too.
Was it by him? They were reading something about disrupting markets.
Yeah, there was another. I don't think that one was by him, but I was reading a book about like, how to disrupt a market is like, you know, making something totally different than anyone else is making.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's important because in the beer industry, it's kind of hard to make something like really unique. But like for Northern Hydration, you know, it is super unique. It's in a can. It has no sweetener.
So it's crazy because we had this idea kind of like finalized. It was around like May, I think, of last year. Like, okay, we got the idea. I think we were still working on the branding. And we're like, man, this is crazy. No one is putting enough electrolytes in their beverages. So there's literally, right now in the Canadian market, we're the only product that has enough electrolytes in it. So you have sachets that have enough, like Liquid IV we talked about, but Every ready-made doesn't have enough. So we had this idea. It was amazing. We're like, okay, like this, $1 million business, let's go. And then I think Element dropped on their Instagram. I can't.
Yeah, we talked about that. I saw. I'm like, oh, we already had the design fully made and everything, and it was prototype. And then we saw one day. My friend sent it to my brother-in-law.
Yeah,
it was like, dude, look what they just dropped. I'm like, no way.
We're like, no. But then
we're like, we have a good idea.
Yeah, that just means that you guys are on the right track.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So explain to the audience, like, so you say not enough electrolytes, right?
Yeah.
But what is enough electrolytes then? Like, what would you say is a normal amount for people? Because sometimes when I explain to people, like, your drink and stuff like that, they're like, oh, that's too much potassium, or that's too much magnesium or whatever, right? So, like, explain to the audience, like, how did you get to that number with what you guys chose?
So we did a lot of research, obviously. So most people need about 3,000 milligrams of sodium, particularly, per day. But that number substantially increases the more you move, the more you sweat, the more you're active. So like for super active people, like in sports like jiu-jitsu or like CrossFit, like they need kind of close to like actually 10,000 milligrams a day. So to get that purely from your food is very difficult.
Yeah.
So you can, but your food might not taste that good because it's going to be super salty.
Yeah, unless you just love salt.
Unless you just love salt.
Then we got issues.
And it's crazy because a lot of people probably, like, you've heard, oh, that's a lot of salt. Salt is essential. Like, you need it.
Yeah.
For everything.
Yeah.
Like, if you dive down the rabbit hole of like what salt does for you, it's literally the entire function of your brain, your body. Everything works together and is fused with sodium. So important.
Yeah.
So yeah, that RDA of 3,000 for active people who exercise, it goes up a lot. And by having kind of this big salt, potassium, magnesium dose, like pre-workout, post-workout, you're making sure that your body has the electrolytes in you to either rehydrate you or to like fuel you for your workout. So it's huge. Like we generally use it before because we work out like at 6:30 in the morning. So we'll have a can basically on our way to the gym, and then your workout like is just so much better.
Yeah, I find too, like it's been really good to like replace coffee in the morning for a bit. To at least, I mean, I love my coffee, but like to just kind of push it for a little longer. That with one of those drinks, I think it's like awesome.
Yeah, we've had a lot of people say, and even we've noticed, like it takes away the brain fog.
Yeah.
So a lot of people get
100%.
We were just at a gym the other day,
Orange Theory.
and he was like, man, like my brain fog just literally went away. It's like, like you're probably super dehydrated.
Exactly.
Talking about the morning too, like a lot of people don't realize, like you may not be like feeling that you're sweating in the middle of the night, but you are. You're losing so much water. So with the water comes electrolytes. And then if you just go straight to just drinking water right away, you're actually going to dehydrate yourself further.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's actually important that whether you're drinking Northern Hydration or you're like eating some eggs, like just make sure you put a lot of salt on them.
Yeah, we did many different batches, like of different ratios. And some of them were way too salty.
I was gonna ask, was there one where you like drank, you're like, whoo, we gotta bring it down just a little bit.
And then, so there was that, but then we would carbonate it, and the carbonation actually hides the salt.
Oh, really?
Quite well, which is like, so we put it in a big tank, and then we carbonate it. Before we carbonate it, we usually taste it, and it's a lot more salty than when it's carbonated, which is pretty interesting. That's something that was like trial and error, like, okay, let's carbonate it. And then it was carbonated. It's like, whoa, it's so hidden. It like kind of tricks your taste buds into like not having the salt. So you feel the salt maybe on your lips, but you don't really taste it.
I appreciate too, because like you're like, the drink is like, I would say it's like lightly carbonated. It's not too much with like a full on energy drink.
No.
Where you're like, if you're working out, you're like kind of burping a little bit, right? It's kind of, it's enough where it feels like crisp, if that makes sense.
And carbonated like a beer, even a little bit less than a beer, than compared to like pop.
So like a pop is like a 5 on the scale. A beer is between like 2.5 and 3, and we're at about 2. So significantly less carbonated. Like, even a bubbly is like a 5. And actually, carbonation is super important too, because CO2 is actually super acidic. So it's good for shelf stability, but it can disrupt your gut. So a lot of people actually complain about like drinking too much bubbly and like that their stomach hurts. And it's not because the bubbles are, pushing out in your gut. It's actually because it's so acidic that it's disrupting your gut microbiome.
Interesting. Ari, did you have a...
Yeah, so why did you guys settle on the ratio that you did?
It was through a lot of research. Like we kind of read a lot of papers about it, and I can't remember exactly
It was
what
like
it was.
also taste, like
It was taste,
like salt content, and then we used kind of element as like more of like a benchmark, and like okay, their ratios, like I mean they're a massive company, they've done tons of research, so we wanted it to be somewhere in the same realm.
So more specifically, like why magnesium and potassium?
because they kind of all interact with each other. So magnesium has like a calming effect. Potassium, and these are like just like very general effects because like all of these elements actually have like a lot of different things that go on. Potassium can help with cramping, and then salt. The main driver for salt is that it helps with your hydration.
So it was another note. Like for me, I'm a huge fan, right? And the reason is, 2018, I was put in the hospital because I had an irregular heart rate.
Okay.
And every time I went to work, it came back.
Okay.
Right? So somebody mentioned, like, did my own research, magnesium, right? And after 2 weeks of supplementing with magnesium, it came back and it wouldn't go into a regular as often.
Wow.
Right? And then, but it still did every once in a while. And it was bugging me. Man, I got to get this under control. So I went to another health specialist and they're like, well, you're low at potassium.
Yeah. Low.
Right? So then I started supplementing with potassium and you guys just happened to put like everything I need.
Yeah.
So I'm a huge fan.
That's pretty
Oh,
cool.
wow. Clip that. Put that in. You have everything I need in a drink.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Potassium, a lot of people don't know, but it's like very protective for your heart.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So through research, we kind of discovered like post actually making the product, because I had, I don't know, let's say like 5% of people be like, oh, I can't have salt. My doctor said, I can't. So it's not 100% true. So yes, you don't want to have extreme amounts of salt if you have high blood pressure, but only 40% of people with high blood pressure actually experience an elevation in blood pressure after consuming salt. So only 40% of those people have that kind of bump from salt. And on average, that bump is only 5 mmHg. So it's really not a lot. So your high blood pressure is due to like lifestyle factors, stress, all that kind of stuff, not salt.
It's just not, one.
And then the other thing is that when you combine the salt with the potassium, it's actually better for your heart. So people who have high blood pressure need to actually make sure they're consuming enough potassium and sodium at the same time to actually protect their heart from, high blood pressure and all sorts of other heart-related diseases.
And when we played squash, there was always like, you had Gatorade water, and then you always had a banana.
Yeah.
So it's like, that just shows how important potassium is for any physical fitness, right?
100%. The first thing they always say is, have a banana. Have a banana. Have a banana.
It helps with cramps.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I saw that you guys also put white button mushroom in it.
Yeah.
Why?
So that is a super awesome and unique product that comes from Nova Scotia. It's super revolutionary in the industry because it's
a stabilizer.
Yeah, it's a stabilizer, and it's made from these mushrooms rather than like all these bad chemicals that like go into a lot of drinks. Yeah, sure, it doesn't go bad.
Yeah, because like there's a lot of preservatives in our food that consumed in high amounts are not good for you. So we wanted to make our label 100% clean. And this product's like new on the market within like maybe the last 2 years.
I've read a little bit that he also helps with like cortisol levels.
Helps with cortisol levels as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps regulate them.
But it like is super natural, which is what we really liked. So it like there's nothing bad in the drink, which is what our goal was.
Yes.
Like this is a Canadian company, which is even better.
Yeah.
And then it's a product that comes from mushrooms rather than from a lab and like all these chemicals being used in our drink.
Yeah.
A lot of people will ask, like, they'll look through it and be like,
A lot of people also, actually, we've had quite a few people who are like, oh, I can't drink it, I'm allergic to mushrooms.
Yeah, like it's
But it's not.
to say
It's
it.
not a mushroom. It's like an extract of it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how they make it, but
Yeah. It's crazy.
cool
Like,
product.
apparently, a big industry for it is like dairy. So, like your yogurts and stuff like that and milk, like to keep it shelf stable, you can use this instead to keep it shelf stable, and it's a natural product.
Oh, interesting.
It's really cool.
Okay, so was there any early failures or big lessons that shaped the business a little bit more?
I would say like branding. Like initially our brand was totally different. And like we showed it to a bunch of people.
What was it kind of like, if you don't mind me asking?
It was more on like the manly side, like more geared towards only men.
That's right.
right. What's up, the one woman?
He didn't say OnlyFans. He said
So we tested it out. Like we said, we gave it to a bunch of people. We actually made labels and we were like,
it was called Everyman.
yeah.
So
We wanted to be like
that is kind of like
Yeah, it was a little bit too specific.
we wanted to be counterculture because at that time it was just like there was just so much going on.
yeah.
And we were like, let's just make this a little bit more disruptive than creating a product that's also disruptive.
Yeah. That's fair.
And then,
We definitely learned about that. Like we gave it to a bunch of people, and even a lot of men were like, I don't know if this is a good idea.
It's like, dude, it's already like a target on our backs, like it depends too much. Yeah.
So then we were like, okay, let's come up with a new idea. And we're like, okay, what about, we're trying to be this drink that's super Canadian. We want to rule the Canadian market. We're like, why don't we just make it like super Canadian based? And we're like, we came up with the name Northern. So we're like, oh, that's pretty cool. We've been North. It's such a big thing. And then we came up with the moose. And we're like, man, that is sick.
and we did all the designing ourselves.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Josh did it all.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, he's good at it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so what makes Northern Hydration you think different from other brands? Before we talked about like it's obviously Canadian, so with like Liquid IV and I mean I think we can all agree that like Prime is like really not a hydration drink.
It's more of a kid's drink.
It's juice. It's juice. But what do you think really if you could like say something that stands out from your brand from others, what would it be?
I definitely think the no sweetener thing is huge.
Yeah, it's probably been one of the biggest things that people have loved about it. That it's like,
Appreciate about it.
yeah, like, oh, it's not sweet at all.
Because like a lot of people don't realize that even if you're having like a 0-calorie sugar, it still interacts with your brain the same way that real sugar does. So if you have like, I don't know, let's say like a Monster, 0 calories, it has whatever it uses to sweeten it. You'll notice throughout the day, we actually did a self-experiment with Diet Coke.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you have a Diet Coke, start right away in the morning, have that. And then just like throughout the day, like think about your cravings. And you'll notice that they're literally way higher. And then try the next day, don't have any fake sugars or real sugars. And you'll notice that you'll be able to like stick to your diet way easier. So for us, that was like pretty important. Like, being athletes and trying to eat healthy and stuff and, trying to avoid kind of the sweet foods because it makes you crave more is kind of a big deal for us.
Oh, for sure. You want to help your fitness and your like lifestyle and nutrition more. You don't want to.
And like, hey, sometimes that stuff's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, there's a company, Poppy. I don't know if you guys have heard of them. They're making like very low sugar, low calorie drinks. I think their pops are like 20 calories. Like, that's awesome.
They just sold for like 2.4 billion.
Well, that's awesome. But I agree. Like, especially if like a lot of people too, like if they want to have a drink with something like something low to no calorie, like if there's something you want to take away, maybe it's that the sugar and stuff like that, and regular Coke or regular Sprite, whatever. It's one of those like, what's the lesser evil here?
There also was a study done where they actually gave people like 0-calorie sugars in their beverages and then like just regular sugar in the beverages, and the people ended up consuming the same amount of calories daily because the sugar in the drinks was negligible based on like what it actually made them eat more during the day. So like, for you, obviously you're fit and you work out a lot and stuff, and you could probably handle it better, but like, your average Joe who just, maybe doesn't eat always the healthiest, those sweet drinks, even though they're 0 calories, are just going to make that person eat more.
Interesting. Okay, so what are some myths or misunderstandings do you think people still have about hydration?
The salt. It's not the biggest thing.
It still lacks the salt. Yeah.
That's probably like the main thing that we have to like push.
When people are like, "Oh, it's too salty," or "It's too much."
There's too much salt. I can't have that. That's been one of our main things that we've heard from the consumer.
Definitely. And in that same line, like, oh yeah, I drink a lot of water. It's like, okay, but like, are you getting enough salt? Because if you're drinking a lot of water, like post workout, if you just go chug a liter of water, you're just going to make it worse.
Yeah.
Like you're going to feel worse. Like you need to have the sodium in your body to hold on to the water that you just consumed. It's super important. Like, so like, I don't know, for instance, like we go mountain biking a lot in the summer, like post mountain bike ride, like I'm going to have a Northern Hydration and then I'm going to consume water. Yeah. Or beer.
Or beer.
Probably better to do water, but
Oh, yeah, that's okay. And would you suggest that people like have like one max a day, or you?
I think it depends on how much you work out.
Yeah.
Like if you're like pretty,
If you say, let me give you like a scenario with a person. So let's say a person works out like 3 times a week. Most average person who tries to be fit is like 3 times a week, and in summer maybe walks a bit more. Would you say like 1 or 2?
oh yeah, definitely.
yeah, definitely 1 to 2 a day. And then if you're working out, like you can for sure, right?
Yeah.
If that day you work out, you should have more too. But on a normal day, 1 to 2.
1 to 2.
Right.
Yeah, I had actually this is a good example on Tuesday. I had a big squash match.
Yeah.
It was like the semifinals for this tournament that we're in, and I had 3 that day leading up to my match.
All the same flavors?
Good question. I don't remember.
You're like, this one.
I don't remember, but I had 3 leading up to my match.
Yeah.
I made sure I ate super clean. I knew my food didn't have a ton of sodium in it, and so it actually helped like crazy during the game, like because you're fully hydrated. You have all the sodium in you. You're ready to go. And even post match, I had one.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We always have it like after sauna. Like
After sauna would be perfect. Or in the sauna.
in the sauna.
In the sauna? Bring a cold one in the sauna? Oh my gosh. I'm going to try that.
Interesting to bring up too, because our first recipes actually had caffeine in it.
Yeah.
But we eliminated it.
You got to bring it back.
We eliminated it because we do sauna at night.
Yeah.
So we play squirrel egg.
And we'll go in the sauna and shower,
Yeah.
but it's like sometimes 9:30.
We're looking at the drink. We're like,
Should we do this?
How much caffeine did you try to put in?
50 milligrams.
Oh,
it was pretty low.
It was pretty. That's like a very small coffee,
Yeah.
right?
Like half espresso.
half espresso. Yeah, like that's not bad.
No.
But like it just gives us, one day we'll make a drink with caffeine.
Yeah.
Let me know. Yeah, I'll be stoked.
It'll be another variant of Northern Hydration. That's our goal.
There you go.
We've been experimenting with like a pre-workout sports line
Yeah.
that has like some other stuff in it that prevents you from like getting any lactic acid buildup in your body.
Interesting.
So it's
Is it a white can?
Well, we're working on the idea still on how to make it good.
It work.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's like there's like we did some research, and a lot of like these like ultra long distance runners, they use sodium bicarbonate before their like marathons or whatever. And what it does is, I guess it alkalinizes your blood.
That's a tough word.
Yeah, I don't know. It alkalinizes your blood.
Yeah.
You don't get the lactic acid buildup, so your muscles will still fatigue, but you won't actually get like that feeling where you can't move your legs. And I tried it, and it works really, really good.
Yeah.
But there's some side effects that we gotta figure out. So
Well, it probably rushes like your stomach a lot, like your gut, right? Like you're going to the bathroom.
Yeah, it upsets your stomach.
Yeah.
So
So you just gotta find the right balance.
So
the balance,
I think
not the product.
Yeah, the biggest thing, like when we did the experiments, was like you got to be careful what you like consume before and after, which is like really difficult. That to like put it in a drink and be like,
Don't have this.
do this.
Yeah. That's true. You want to make it as like friendly where people can drink it almost pretty much anytime they want.
Yeah, but like for instance, like you can't have it carbonated.
Oh.
It needs to be flat. But then, so what are you going to tell people? Oh, like don't drink any carbonated beverages before or after consuming this. Like it's a little bit of a hard thing to have a disclaimer.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's probably workarounds. So
Always is.
There's like the technology improves every year.
yeah,
Like because of the brewery, we have all these suppliers that tell us about all these different products that are coming out. And every year there's like so many things that you're like, oh my God, that's so cool. Like all these like proteins that now.
Oh yeah, that was another one.
Yeah.
We're trying to make maybe a protein water.
Interesting.
Or a protein beer.
Or that was also
Wow, protein beer. Wow. You guys are killing it. Okay. Just thinking about, do you know how much you would want to put in the protein beer?
I think 16 grams would be good.
I think that's sweet.
Yeah. Like, wouldn't you have like a pint? Like, you go to a bar
Yeah.
and there's
After you work.
there's pints or liquor or whatever, but this one brand has 16 grams of protein per pint. There's literally, they're not going to pick anything else.
No, I just go on my fitness pal. I'm like, I got 30 more grams to go.
Like, you're at, like, imagine you have 2 pints, 32 grams of protein. Like,
Yeah. Because our idea with that
like a no-brainer to me.
we always go mountain biking, and like the rule of mountain biking is as soon as you get to your car, someone has a cooler, opens it beer. And we're like, okay, Northern Hydration, amazing, great. Then it's like they always want to have a beer as well. So it's like,
Yeah.
what if there's a beer that like, does something for you other than the alcohol?
Yeah.
I'm for it. I sponsor this message. Yeah, I'm like, interesting. I want to ask you about the can size. Did you always want to do like that kind of can size? Because a lot of drinks are like, I find, I guess it's not much of a good comparison, but like energy drinks and stuff like that, they're starting to get a little bit smaller, right? And
Like Red Bull cans.
yeah, like it's funny because when Red Bull came out, Red Bull is like it stands the test of time. Everybody knows Red Bull. Red Bull is more about the brand than really is the drink.
It is,
right?
actually. Yeah.
And then energy drinks started coming out like beer can sizes, right? And then now I find that people energy drink like if we were to Sebum,
Yeah.
his is like basically like a little beer. His energy drink.
Oh, really? It's like
Yeah.
a short can?
Yeah.
They're delicious.
They're awesome because they're small, but like they have a lot of nootropics in it, and it's 112 milligrams of caffeine, so it's like just enough where it's in the morning or in the afternoon. And then I find even like Ghost is starting to
Small can?
is starting to do small cans.
Oh, really?
And
Do
so
I know
is
the reason why?
do I know the reason
You
why?
can charge the same price for a small can.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That is the only reason.
Interesting.
I think for electrolytes, it's hard because, like, people who've tried Element, like, they're putting one packet in probably a liter of water to make it taste okay. Otherwise, you're chugging it. Like, if you put a packet of Element in our can, for instance, you're gonna have to chug it because it'll be very intense. So that's also like the reason why we're at 750 milligrams of sodium and they're at 1,000.
So you want to disperse
It's
everything.
the taste is there. At 750, 550, you're still getting the benefits of the electrolytes with still tasting good. So if you put it in a short can, I mean, you theoretically could put the same amount in there, but it probably just won't taste as good. Yeah, so that's difficult.
I think a lot of them do it also. You can grow your shelf space more, right? If you have more big can, small can, slim can.
Yeah.
So now you have, if you have 3 of each, you have so many different types of products that are on a shelf.
Yeah, more options for people.
More options and more.
Yeah, more in general.
If you have a whole shelf in the grocery store, people will see your product. Or if you only have, one line, it's easy to walk by.
Yeah.
So it's also about that. It's also about like getting the brand even bigger. That's why like Rockstar and stuff have 300 flavors.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Every week is like a new flavor.
Because it's like it just takes up the whole shelf.
Yeah. No, that's
Right?
fair.
Yeah.
So at any point, did you guys think that maybe this wouldn't work? Because it was just so like.
I don't think I ever had that feeling. I think it was crazy. We always had the feeling of like, I don't know, when you're a kid and you do something new.
Yeah.
It was just like so exciting. Every day we worked on it, it was like, this is crazy. Like, we came up with this? This is pretty cool.
What did you like your family, your friends think when you first told me like, listen, stay with me, hydration. What did they
I think
think?
because of our squash background, it was like, yeah, like you guys are a good fit for it. Like, no.
Our dad was skeptical.
Yeah,
that's true. Not skeptical.
Dad. It's always the dads.
He didn't buy in until recently.
That's true, actually. Yeah.
He didn't buy in until recently. For a while, I think it's because his generation was taught that like salt is really bad for you. So I think that like he just had this misconception that basically like
But you also have to know my dad. He's from Germany. He's been in the brewing industry for 30 years.
Yeah.
He only drinks beer. So like he's not the target audience.
It's very funny.
But other than him, no, yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
We're so excited to see what happens with the brand
Yeah, we have some really cool stuff coming up
in the next month.
I can't talk about
On air, you mean?
on air.
You can say, you can tell me. Right? All right, cool. Okay, so I want to ask you, have you ever tried a flavor and then was like, we got to kill that flavor. It's gross. You don't have to say the flavor yet, but
Not yet.
no?
So what? We're working on grapefruit next.
Yeah.
That one's been really good.
Grapefruit, eh?
Yeah, it's gonna be a pink can. It's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
That was gonna be nice.
Is there a flavor that you really want to try? You're like, I don't know if we can make it work, but you're gonna, like a wild flavor, you're like, kiwi or something.
I don't know. Yeah, I think the great part about it is that we can do any flavor, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, especially for us because
Limited.
for a lot of like drink companies that don't make the product, to get like a sample is almost impossible. So for us, as we make it, it's so easy. We can like take the product without the flavoring
Yeah.
aside in like, a liter and add flavoring and try it out and be like, oh, that's good. So it's pretty easy to find a new flavor, luckily.
And do you guys want to stick to like fruits? You know how like some, not to compare again, but some like energy drinks are like watermelon candy, Sour Patch Kids is on freaking everything.
We had that stuff, but it's up to people.
Yeah.
Remember someone told us about Rockstar?
Yeah, it was some crazy flavor.
They had some like double flavor like that, and they're like this limeade or something.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Or if you guys do like a lemon lime, mix two of those.
Yeah, that we wanted.
That was part of the testing batch. We did like
we did do that.
Lemon lime is nice.
that was really good, but we're like, we could have two different products.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, business wise, this is
That was actually kind of advice from the Loblaws lady.
Yeah,
We had a meeting at Loblaws, and she said like you need at least 3 SKUs. So we're working on getting in with them.
yeah.
It's about a year process. So we had our first meeting with them in December. So, but she was the one who said have many flavors, because at first we're like, oh, like let's just push the original OG lemon, and then we were quick to make more after she said that.
It was good.
And it was a good idea.
Yeah.
Because like you even know in your gym, like you have now multiple things. It takes up more shelf space. It has more eyes on it. And and I think, did we talk about changing the black can?
No.
Yeah. So we're most likely going to change the black to a yellow can. And
What do you think about that?
Yeah. What do you think?
I love it.
What do you guys think?
The brighter the colors, it stands out.
Yeah.
That's very
Especially to girls. Like, no, 100%. There's been
No, it's true. If it's a color or like there's like a dog on a label, like I mean, it doesn't.
You guys got a dog?
We have dogs.
You got to put the dog on the label, dog. You have to. No, 100%. Because there's been times like when we had the lime one, I think Stacey grabbed one. She's like, "This is cute." And that's how sometimes or if guys grab it, like, "This looks sick." Okay.
Yeah, that's what we thought about the black. We're like, it looks sick.
Yeah.
Like,
But it's okay. It's the OG one.
It's the OG.
OG one, and then you level up to like you said yellow can.
Yellow can.
Yellow can.
Yeah.
see.
We were at like, I don't know, felt like 20 different gyms during the CrossFit Open. And so we brought all 3 samples at every event. And I wouldn't say every time, but a lot of the time, the black one was the leftover one, or had like the least amount we gave away. And it was definitely colored, because like flavor wise, like lemon's great. They all taste great, but like, I don't think it's like that people were like, I don't want lemon. It was more, that looks intimidating. Yeah. Yeah.
That's fair. So when I was thinking about your brand and like what I thought about it, because to me your brand feels like rugged, like reliable, like when I was like closing my eyes, I was like thinking it was like on a mountain, or on like a hockey bench. Like, was that like the vibe you guys were kind of going for?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
The main thing was when you look at it, you're like, oh, that's Canadian.
100%.
Yeah,
like I just did a little snow around it. Yeah.
So we played with all these different designs of like, mountains and peaks and stuff like that. But yeah, we think this one was cool because it like kind of represents everything, like you said, right? So it'd be like hockey rink, everything. It's like what is like Canada known for? All these different amazing sports. So it's like this one can be more general. But it's just a mountain. You're like, oh, is it for like outdoor sports.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So do you guys ever fight over decisions, or you guys are generally in
We don't
sync?
fight. I mean, but we definitely we disagree here and there, but not like crazy.
Pretty good though, because like we also been doing it for a while. Like
With
brewery.
yeah, you guys were like you guys are pretty good with communication.
Yeah.
Definitely at the beginning when we first worked at the brewery, it was not that good.
That was hard. Yeah.
Oh, why?
When I was like 16,
I was being an older brother.
Yeah. Yeah, we used to get in more fights. I don't think we don't get fights anymore at all.
No.
Yeah. It's like it's nice working with family because you can be like real.
Yeah,
I don't have to be like, oh, I take my heart your feelings. It's just like, dude, this is what we're doing. Like, I don't like it. Okay.
that's fair. What's the last thing you guys like disagreed on when it came to the company?
I don't know. We fought once when we were canning because canning sucks.
Why does it suck?
It's just so boring.
Is it?
This was at the point where
We had a manual can. This was like this was those 6.
no, I think it's like almost 10 years. This
was a long time ago. We had like a manual one-hand canner for 2 cans.
Yeah.
So you'd put the cans in the machine, press the start button, fill them, hand them to the next guy, and the next guy would use the machine.
Okay, so it's like it's mundane. Like it's very like
we were there till like 8 p.m.
Like to do
shut up, Sebastian.
to do like 50 cases was like a mission.
It was like 6 hours.
It was like a mission.
Now we have like a canning light, so it's fast.
Yeah.
And employees.
Employees help.
That helps.
Yeah. So you guys have like the brewery, the hydration. Like, how do you guys your restaurant too?
Because we're in a brew pub.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so like, how do you guys like deal with like burning out, or are you guys like too hyped on electrolytes to even burn it?
I ask myself this all the time.
Do you guys feel that
I
yet?
go on vacations. That helps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Try to take at least 2 vacations a year.
Okay. What was the last vacation you went to?
We went together, actually. We went to Germany as
You guys really do like everything together. Hey, how was Germany?
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah.
We took 2 of our staff. We took the chef and then the head brewer. And it was so fun.
It was a good time.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah, the wives came.
The wives came as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Our mom, our dad.
Yeah.
There's a lot of family. Wow.
Yeah, it was very family oriented.
Okay, so I wanted to ask, if we had the same conversation 5 years from now, what would need to happen to make you guys feel like you absolutely crushed it?
I think what our
How many
initial like
made a dream?
our pipe our pipe dream was like to work with like the Olympians.
Yeah, like real pro athletes that are like well known, like, you know, be a sponsor of the Leafs or something like that. Something like that.
Yeah.
We just opened up like shipping nationwide.
Okay.
So hopefully in 5 years from now we're, you know, Canada-wide in grocery stores and convenience stores and stuff like that. And who knows from there.
Yeah, like also a big part of us, like, you know, coming from like a smaller niche sport like squash would be like not to only get involved with like big sport, like big athletes, but also to help like, you know, squash players.
Well, yeah, because that's like that's one of your loves, right? Why not start there or whatever?
Especially like racket sports in general, or like maybe not tennis, but all the other ones are overlooked quite a bit.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice to bring more limelight to, like, you know, especially like Olympians, especially Canadian Olympians.
Oh, yeah.
You don't really get any recognition. Like, it's not like in the US where, you know, every athlete is like, you know, pushed to everyone. Like, oh, this guy's amazing. In Canada, it's not really like that. Like, you see a snowboarder every 4 years.
That's true.
It's really tough in Canada. Like, that's why we didn't stay here for university. Like, like we went to, like, my university had 2,000 undergraduates, and we had a $10 million squash facility.
Yeah, what school did you go to?
St. Lawrence University. So it was like we would take a 60-person coach bus all around the U.S. with 12 guys. Like we had meal, like we were treated like we had trainers, we had everything. We were treated like professional athletes for a niche sport. In Canada, like the best squash team is Western University, and the poor guys, like they have to like go late at night to train because they don't even have a facility. So they have to go to like a local club in London to go train. They have to like fundraise all this money every year. Like it's really tough for Canadian athletes. I mean, that's why you see like, you know, most good university players, like for any sport, all go to the States because you're just treated so much better. So I think it would be cool for us to help the Canadians more, like, and I don't know if it's possible to be involved in that kind of like part, like university kind of pre-professional.
Yeah,
but it would be amazing, right? Like,
Yeah.
like let's get Canadians and the universities behind building athletics in Canada.
And like make these people famous. They deserve it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if you're like some skier and you like barely are making any money, at least you should be famous so you can try and make some money.
Yeah.
Like if you're an Olympian, you deserve it.
Oh, 100%. And the problem too, like it's so across, like it's interesting because you watch the Olympics and it's sponsored by Coca-Cola, like McDonald's.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, these are not really the epitome of like health and like physical like appearance or like attributes. Right. So it's just so.
At least Team Canada had Lululemon this year.
That's true.
Yeah, that was nice.
That's true.
Yeah, and like a real athletic brand. Like I love the bait, but don't get me wrong.
That's fair. Okay, so you guys would love to be like sponsoring like teams or like universities and stuff like that. So
Like our goal is basically to become the Gatorade of Canada.
I like
That's
that.
the goal. Take over Canada. Like no U.S. product that has to do with athletics.
Yeah.
Gatorade will never go away, but it would be cool to be as big in Canada as that.
But I think Gatorade, like the recognition is starting to go away a little bit though, because people are starting to realize it's really
Yes,
it's
not for little kids. You know, 'cause
yes,
right?
yes. It's I guess there's a time and a place for a kid to understand that or feel like drink it and enjoy it. But even then, like whether it's the Northern Hydration, you rather them drink something else. Right. Like that was a big thing about Prime. Is like
100%.
it was that dilemma where it's like, okay, your kids are starting to, or these kids are starting to drink more like potassium and avoiding energy drinks or avoiding juice. So that is good.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what they're consuming really is not helping them.
No.
And it's really, they're just, these bottles, sometimes they go for like $100 for a bottle.
Yeah, because
And, like,
it's crazy.
And so it's like, okay, they're not, it's good that they're making a kid drink more water or whatever, but it's bad because really they're consuming nothing actually healthy.
Yeah.
Right? Or healthy for them for their performance.
Yeah.
That was like a big part of like, I mean, we're a brewery, so we make canned products, but the can seems so interesting because it's like, it looks cool, especially to like teenagers or something like that. That are going for these energy drinks and stuff like that. It's like at least they could be drinking something that's like really good for them, and they still look really cool.
Oh yeah.
Or you could be at a skate park and have a can and be like, "Oh, that kid's drinking a beer," or like,
Yeah, what is that? Oh, there's no hydration.
"No, man, this is really good for you."
Yeah.
I know. So like that was a big inspiration for us as well.
Oh man, like we always like wish that we had Northern Hydration when we were kids. Like we would have helped so much.
Or even in university,
Or even
where we were like we were training like professional athletes like twice a day, 3-hour sessions each session, and it was like you go to the dining hall and there's Gatorade. You're like,
Yeah, 100%. Well, yeah, even when like I was a track kid, so it's like, you know, you have your Gatorade. And then remember when Gatorade or something had like something zero or
yeah,
I can't remember what they had. So, some water drink with like electrolytes or something.
Propel or something.
Propel, that's what it was. Yeah, Propel, and that was gross. So like it's just like they were so like far, like they just didn't really grow. I find or really try to like innovate.
Apparently, Gatorade when it first came out actually was legit.
Oh really?
Yeah, it was like I think
like what they made.
don't quote me, but I think it was in like the 70s. It was legit. It was like a real amounts of electrolytes, and then just slowly transformed into basically like a kid's drink. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's a wild idea you guys would love to pursue with Northern Hydration? Something like that you're like, ooh, that's a little too crazy, but we want to try to do it. Is it back to the protein thing?
I think a wild thing would be like sponsoring like, you know, someone who's ultra famous Canadian athlete.
Well, yeah.
That just seems a little bit out of reach right now. So like that seems crazy.
Yeah.
Like for Mitch Marner to contact us on Instagram being like, I want to support this brand would be like, whoa.
Yeah. So again, when you guys started the brand, like with the Instagram account, like did you guys like figure out, okay, we want to tackle like CrossFitters and like how did you guys choose who you wanted to work with over social media? Because I find like you made an amazing drink, but like that half the battle is actually being able to like get it out there, right? So did you guys really find that was different than having your like amazing brewery before?
It's definitely different.
A different battle, right?
Yeah, it's like really social media based.
Yeah,
which is
like
Are you guys like a social media people? Like,
no,
are you more like a post and ghost and
we're like
we're
learning
learning
use social
media.
yeah? Well, but
Yeah.
but isn't it like it's crazy because it's like you guys have an amazing product.
Yeah.
And like you can have like we live in a world where you can have an amazing product,
right, yeah.
but there's people out there with shitty product,
Yeah.
but like have influencers or whatever the case it may be,
Yeah.
and they're like being more out there, right?
Yeah.
Have you guys been finding that struggle and trying to figure out the right thing?
working with influencers is really tough. That's what we've realized. Like they say we want $5,000 for one post. You're like, yeah, 5,000 followers.
Yeah, you're like a micro influencer.
And they're like,
A micro, I've never heard of that before.
and they won't
like
like
that.
that. They'll be like, no, sorry, that's my rate.
Yeah.
Talk to my manager. It's like, why do you have a manager?
Yeah. Who pays you?
Who pays you? You're like clearly not you.
So that's been tough.
Yeah.
But social media, it's fun. Like we just made
It's fun.
We just made a video for the brewery that was Sebastian's idea,
Yeah.
and it already has how many views? Like 5,000 to 7,000 views.
Yeah.
Isn't it fun though when you like kill it with one video? You're like,
it's-
we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Excited when that happens.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys do good videos.
We try. It's super stressful because I'm sure you understand when you put one out there and it crushes, you're like, fuck, we gotta do this again.
Yeah,
We gotta do this again.
it's also like super awkward being in front of a camera. Like that's something we need to learn.
That's for some of
He's
us.
very good at it.
So like
I could tell.
well, you guys are doing really well on camera too. See, I think so. When I was younger, I was in like drama and stuff like that. So you had to like be on a stage,
That helps. Yeah.
and I also, when I was in high school, I would host like SNL nights.
Oh,
So like once a month, we would do like skits and whatever, and I'd be the host.
Wow.
And the training for that would be brutal. So basically, to get comfortable on stage, I would have to go like on the stage, and we would have our group of like 20, 30 people, and I would have to talk and just could talk about life, whatever. I could joke, and everybody in the audience, when you thought it was boring or you were like over the conversation, you would have to get up and leave, and I would have to keep on going until there was nobody left.
That's hard.
So you really have to deal with like somebody just get you, because you know there's that one asshole who just gets up right away and it's just to mess you up, right? And so you like really have to get used to just like, okay, that one didn't hit, and then you just kind of have to like keep on going. So I think that's why I got a little more
That's
comfortable.
hard.
Yeah, that's huge.
I feel like we both probably haven't done too much public speaking, so that probably makes it hard. I was the captain of my team at University of Rochester, but it's different. Like it was 10 guys that you're talking to,
And they're your boys,
and you're a friend. You're your best friend.
Yeah,
it's totally
so
it's like
yeah.
Where like speaking in front of a room is not easy.
Yeah.
But we're getting better at it.
We're getting better.
Yeah. Hopefully, the bigger the company gets, the better we get.
Exactly. Okay, so I wanted to do a little bit of like a fun rapid question.
Sure.
Okay, so most underrated way to stay hydrated.
Underrated. Salting your eggs.
Salting your egg.
It's salting your just water in the morning.
All right. Best time of day to drink your product.
First thing.
First for morning. Okay. Would you rather sponsor if you only had these two come up to you, would you rather sponsor the NHL or UFC?
Ooh, UFC.
Yeah.
My guys. If Northern Hydration was a car, what would it be?
Ferrari. Wow, I was going to say that.
Who do you think sweats the most? Hockey players, CrossFitters, or yoga people?
CrossFit.
Hockey.
Ooh, I don't know. We've been doing CrossFit. It's terrible.
CrossFit, but I think with the gear,
True. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think the gear makes you probably
think
sweat
just-
more.
The CrossFit is so much harder than skating.
Yeah.
True. True.
So what do you guys do for working out right now? Like, do you guys weight train?
CrossFit gym.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which one? We'll
For a month. Orangeville CrossFit.
Yeah.
Orangeville CrossFit.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, it's great. Good community.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the reason we joined CrossFit is because we've been going to all these opens.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're like, holy shit, man! Like these people are so jacked.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
They all
And
look
like
amazing.
I
They look-
like I'm not joking. You every jack person I saw, I'm like, so what do you do? Like, do you go to the gym and do this? Like, is this your cardio?
They're like,
And they're like, no, like I only do CrossFit.
yeah, how the hell are we doing, dog?
Like you should see it. We go in the mornings and work out, and like everyone's like shredded, 6 packs, like unbelievable shape, and we're just like dying there.
That's too funny.
But it's good because like this was like the first time I felt like I've been pushed since university to like exercise. Like I'm like good at going to the gym and lifting weights, but to like push hard cardio is like not fun. No, it sucks. It's not.
But we still play squash. Squash is still our main thing.
Yeah, that
And mountain biking. Yeah, we're pretty active.
Yeah.
that's not bad. Okay, so we always like to ask our guests 2 questions. So for each of you. So if you could describe yourself in 1 word, what would it be? You got time to think about it.
I don't want to say cocky. That was the first.
That's a pretty fair one.
First one that came out. I think that's pretty fair.
That's very honest. So
No, I don't know.
we'll say confident.
Confident. I feel like my wife would say you're cocky.
I would say you're cocky.
I feel like you're cocky.
In a good way.
And you?
I would say interested. Like I like thinking about new products and stuff like that, and I like reading. Yeah, I'll go with that.
Okay. And then what does the word alpha mean to you?
The best.
The best. The best.
Like the leader.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not bad. I like that. It's a good answers.
Yeah, I like that question.
Okay, so we want to shout you out and everything. So, like, what's the best way for them to like buy your drinks, reach out to you if you're a gym and wants to reach out to you?
Yeah. So yeah, like reach out to us obviously on Instagram, like if you're like a gym or whatever.
Yeah, Northern Hydration.
If you want to purchase our product, the best thing to do is purchase it online. Use code GetAlpha. And for the podcast, we specially updated it so that you can stack the get 25% off code, Let's Go 25, with the alpha code. So
You're the best.
yeah, we get 25% off plus your 10% discount. So
Guys,
it's awesome.
come on. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
We ship all over Canada now.
Yeah.
Which is cool. That was this week.
Oh, congrats. Thank you. That's really amazing.
So we just got our first order in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's cool.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, that was cool.
That's awesome. Okay, so what's coming next for you guys? So I know you said you're working on the grapefruit.
Grapefruit, yeah.
So grapefruit, anything else you guys can kind of like spoil or tease that's coming forward?
There's some cool video content coming.
That's probably the most exciting.
That's really exciting. Wish we could talk about it.
On our Instagram. Yeah. Check it out.
It's
Okay.
good. We'll make sure we put your Instagram at the bottom here.
We're working with someone that will be really cool.
Yeah?
We will yeah.
All right. Canadian, obviously.
Canadian,
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. I appreciate you guys coming on. I appreciate you guys donating the beers. They're delicious.
Thank you.
But
so much.
appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thanks.
Appreciate you. Thanks, guys. Love you.
Thank you.